for us to appreciate him. Juata Janyeshewa, and he's made it on time. Anyway, tuende kwa nani next? Hassan! Na Mungu anawaona hiyo roho. From Migori County. Kana wewe Migori ni weusi, hawana hii rangi Mungu. Joy as it comes. By the way, usiki siasa kwa roho, ati kusika ndio wako mpigi makofi. What if you mtu wako abaki? What if mtu wako asemi atabaki? What if? Also Mr. Mwita Vincent Nyasongo. Nyasongo usijali, hata hao wenye wakupigi makofi utawashinda wote. Utashinda mtatoa. Mr. Omar Amos Chamoto. Chamoto na unaingia ukiwa na chabaridi. All right? Wow. Yeah. No, it's not as hot as you think. Just calm down, right? Yeah, they look smart.
Members of the STEAM panel. Okay. Members of the STEAM panel. Members of the STEAM panel. Members of the STEAM delegacy. My fellow contestants, I greet you. Good evening. My names are Eugene Makoha Ohasa. I'm a third-year law student in this great institution, the University of Embu. So what is leadership to me? To me, leadership is about listening. Leadership is about empowering. Leadership is about bringing everyone together so that we can achieve our common goals. I also want to say that if you put me in that position, I'll work tirelessly to ensure that every student feels represented, supported, and motivated to succeed. I also believe in transparency, fairness, and inclusivity. Inclusivity regardless of where you come from, geographically, regardless of your tribe, regardless of the skin color or the tone of your skin color, regardless of your home background, whether you come from a rich or a poor background. I also want to request members of the esteemed delegacy, when that day comes on the 17th of March 2026, kindly go for competency. Thank you.
Yes, to the next contestant.
All protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, good evening everyone. My name is Abdinur Mohammed Hassan from the School of Education and Social Sciences, currently serving as the male delegate Department of Humanities. I'm the one who is representing the Department of Humanity in the Student Council. That is, I'm the outgoing. And also, I'm the incoming Treasurer 2026-2027 UESA. And I believe leadership in this docket of Treasurer, it only needs accountability, transparency, and also protecting the interest of the comrade and also the finance of the comrade at all costs. Ladies and gentlemen, Treasury docket is not about counting money. It's not about counting money. It is about protecting the interest of the comrade. So, what I'm trying to say here, if you entrust me with this chance of representing you as your next treasurer, I will do it with all my heart. I won't be that person who will do my work gradually. I will do it wholeheartedly. So I work under one slogan, pesa itaki kelele, inataka uaminifu. Asante.
The next, Mr. Evans.
Yes, thank you, moderator. Yes, I am Evans Mucho. Yes, thank you. I'm Evans Muchoi, a third-year student pursuing Bachelor of Science in Agriculture in the Department of Water and Agricultural Resource Management. I am a proud two-term delegate. I am currently serving as the departmental delegate in the Department of Home, There is where I represent the issues of the comrade in my department. Comrades, let me take this chance to tell you that leadership is all about stewardship. I trust that the treasurer is not all about controlling money. It's all about managing the resources of the students. There are many resources in these universities that can be mobilized and ensure that the office of the treasurer will never run dry, that the office of the treasurer will sustain the comrades in the next academic year without running dry. All you need in a treasurer seat is to ensure that there is experience. Never risk the treasury docket with unexperienced people. Thank you.
Mr. Vincent.
Thank you very much. My name is Muita Vincent. As second year student in the School of Pure and Applied Science, Department of CIT, pursuing Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. Standing before you, I'm here to, as an aspirant of University of Embu Student Association Treasurer. Having understanding this role very well is a role that requires trust, transparency, integrity, and accountability. And we believe that leadership is guided on those key ideas. And my candidature is guided on 5 cardinal pillars, and which is inclusivity in financial aid, financial transparency and accountability, student opportunity through income generating unit, which is actively, it is not that actively but we can make it work better. And another one is student-centered budgeting, and lastly is leadership and collaboration. Therefore, I'm here. Let's watch this. Thank you.
Mr. Amos.
All protocols observed. Good evening. My name is Amos Chamoto Omar. I'm a third-year student pursuing Bachelor of Commerce in Finance here at the University of Embu. Okay, first of all, I stand before you not just as a candidate, but as a student who understands that leadership is all about responsibility, integrity, and services to the students. 2, the position of the treasurer, it's not all about keeping money, but it's about protecting the trust that students place on us as leaders. And as a finance student, I have knowledge in financial management, I have knowledge in budgeting, and I have knowledge in financial planning. But beyond theory, I am that kind of a leader who always values transparency and values the interest of the comrade at large. Thank you so much.
Now hand over to my fellow moderator.
Thank you so much. To our treasurers, you look amazing. And I hope you look amazing in your ideas also. My first question to all contestants. Why do you think you should be a treasurer of the University of Embu? Why? Mr. Makoa, kindly.
Member of the panel, thank you so much for that particular question. Now to respond to your question on why I'm the most competent candidate to take this treasurer's position, I'll respond in 2 ways. First of all, I want to relate my course of study to finance. I'm a student of the law. In law, we are taught about accountability, transparency, and we are very familiar with institutional procedures. So it will not be a problem for me to keep financial records. It will not be a problem for me to keep the delegates and the students at large informed about our financial decisions and any financial action that will be taken in this institution. To respond to that question with the second limb, I also want to use my personality to justify my assertion that I'm the best candidate to be voted in as the treasurer of UESA in this coming election. I'm a very social person. I normally interact with everyone, and I've not only restricted my connection within the school, but outside the school. I'll partner with sponsors outside the school so that we can be able to raise our financial budgetary docket to a greater height so that we can be able to assist the needy students and the students who cannot be able to take care of their needs. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that question. So why I'm competent enough to be a treasurer of UESA 2026-2027 is that, one, we should understand that being a treasurer is like a backbone of everything we do here. Let's say without funds or without being in that docket of treasury, that means all the programs and all the responsibility of the student council cannot run. So that means I have been built on foundation of trust, transparency, ethical confidence, and all that. Being the student of social work, I have all it takes, let's say integrity. I will be integral in whatever I do. And also, in terms of finance, I've been a treasurer to many organizations. I've worked with the Young People International Network. For you to be a treasurer, it doesn't mean that you should come from the School of Business and Economics. It is just trust. It is the confidence, and it is the responsibility that you want to take upon yourself. So, what I say in this docket is that for you to be a treasurer, be a trustworthy person. That is my personality. Be disciplined in whatever you do. And also, let's say in terms of resource mobilization, having worked with a lot of youth organization, youth-led organization, I can confidently say I can source any amount, anytime. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you, the moderator. To start with is to say that you can be from the Department of Economics and Finance, but you are poor in calculations. Yes, what it requires for you to be a treasurer is all about trust. It's all about competence to be a treasurer. And for me, I have experience. I've served in the government twice. I understand how the UESA government runs. And for me, I'm just going to prolong what was left by the former treasurer and make a step forward. And another thing, to be a treasurer, you have to have prior knowledge on how to mobilize resources. And for me, I'm sure that I can mobilize the resources in the internal university and ensure that the offices of the treasurer have adequate amount of money that will be able to sustain the corporate life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On that question about leadership, leadership is about standing at the forefront and leading others. Therefore, leadership, when you are a leader, you have to create opportunity for others and identify the problems that people are facing and be able to solve those problems. Therefore, in my manifesto, I've identified some good opportunities which they can help other comrades to develop their career and maybe their economy. And another issue is about problems. I've already identified some of the problems that I can solve clearly and make a good impact on that. And about the treasurer, to be specific, I have an experience. I've worked in Alchemy Brands Limited, where I was in charge of stock checking and issuing out orders and to customers. And this particular position requires accuracy and accountability. Therefore, I feel like that role is related to financial accountability, responsibility, and accuracy. Thank you very much.
Okay. So I believe I'm the right candidate because I am combining academic knowledge in finance with leadership responsibility. That is one. As a finance student, I understand. I really have knowledge on what it means by the term budgeting, what it takes by financial planning, and what it takes by risk management. So in that, I am sure and very ready that in this docket, I will deliver to my best of it. Thank you so much.
A quick follow-up question to all of you, starting with Mr. Omar. With your background, as you stated, you combine academic and professional, right?
Sorry?
With your background, as you said, you combine academic with what you will be doing, right?
Yes.
Do you feel these other gentlemen here, they don't have best financial planning for themselves? Do you plan for their life?
Okay, maybe they have, but you know, we have some restrictions, and it's not all about restrictions, but when it comes to financial management, or when it comes to other methods that you can keep them so that you identify some risks when it comes to investment, then I think you need to have some knowledge on that domain.
Mr. Omar,
yes,
we have had instances where people who are professional in that docket you are saying fail even to plan for their lives, for themselves. Your academic knowledge is not a guarantee of your succession in profession. I'm asking you again, do you believe that these other gentlemen can do what you ought to do using your academic background?
Okay, sorry, kuna place sijakupata vizuri. Unaweza rudia kidogo hapo kwa wengine wana fail, walikuwa leaders na wakafail. Unaweza rudia hiyo point alafu ndo nikujibu.
Kuna mahali nimesema kuna wenye walikuwa leaders wakafail. Nimekutolea mfano eti kuna wale walio na elimu kwa sekta zao kama ya pesa ama ya fedha, lakini bado hawajafaulu kuthibitisha uwezo wao kimaisha kutumia ujasiri waliopata wakati wanapata masomo yale. Je, wadhani kwamba hao wengine wenzako hawa hawana uwezo wa kulitenda jambo ambalo wewe unatarajia kulitenda kwa kutumia elimu yako?
Ni sawa, wacha nikujibu tu kwa Kiswahili. So ya kwanza, leadership ni kujituma, na lazima yani ukiwa unajua chenye unafanya, kwa sababu
yao hawajitumi. Kwani hao wengine hawawezi kujituma?
Kwa sababu ya wale wenye umeniambia kuwa wamekuwa kwa hiyo leadership ya pengine treasurer, lakini hawajadeliver to the best. Kwa hivyo kihao hawajajituma, na pengine walikuwa na hiyo knowledge, lakini mtu anaweza kuwa na uwezo wa kufanya kitu lakini akawa reluctant. Kwa hivyo akawa haezi fanya to the best kwa sababu yeye hajajituma kuendekeza ile docket yenye anafaa kudeliver to the most people.
Thank you. To Mr. Mwita, what do you feel with your background you can be a treasurer? Why?
With my background as an information technologist, we are moving into a digital world, and as comrades, we have to embrace the technology because that is the era we are moving to. So I think treasurer, they use records, book records, which is very critical when information can even easily get lost. Therefore, with the knowledge of information technology, we will be able to implement systems that will help to keep record, to account, and make sure that the record is well kept. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Evans, you have heard Mr. Vincent talking about technology, and he has helped me think about now technology has made things to be very much flexible. What is your take if he goes and uses ChatGPT in planning UESA activities?
Yes, thank you, the moderator. And to start with is, we cannot encourage ChatGPT in the treasury. Since ChatGPT, those who have used ChatGPT, you have prior knowledge that ChatGPT does not perform calculations properly, and that will lead to leading to mistakes in the treasury.
Now, with your background in agriculture, how can we affect your docket?
Okay, thank you. You understand that my course is a research course. It's a course you are needed to go there out, and it deals with funds. Anything to do with research deals with funds. So there's a unit called management, where you analyze the budget, you do something to do with balance sheet and all that is required in a budget. And I personally am currently an ambassador of the I&M Bank, and I'm privileged to be the treasurer of the ambassadors. So I'm sure that I have prior knowledge for what it takes to be a treasurer.
Thank you. For the interest of time, Mr. Abdinur, kindly respond. Why, with your background in criminology, you are supposed to be dealing with the criminals, not finance? Give me a reason why you should deal with finances.
I'm not happy with that statement, though. So, the first thing, I stand guided by the Constitution of UESA. It has never been said in the Constitution of UESA, you must come from business department to be the treasurer of UESA. Get the fact. We say here we don't deal with assumption, we deal with facts. Let me respond. Treasury docket is all about trust. It's all about accountability. It's all about transparency. It's all about discipline. So being rooted, fully backed social worker by Dr. Lumumba, I am confident enough that I have all it takes. That is the core values of social worker. So that means I'm good in planning for my life, budgeting for my life. So what makes you think that I cannot make it as a treasurer?
Comrades are in a better position to answer that question on date 17. To Mr. Makoha, kindly, with your background in law, what makes you think law is the same with money?
Thank you so much for your question, member of the panel. To respond to your question, I'll first talk about this common assumption. When you stand before people and you say that you're a lawyer, people tend to mistake you with a criminal lawyer. In law, we have various types of lawyers. We have a tax lawyer, we have a commercial lawyer, we have a company lawyer, we also have a bankruptcy lawyer. So, in my knowledge that I acquired in the last semester when I was studying commercial law, there's this case that I went through. A company collapsed because of poor financial management. The director were held liable and they were meant to repay a few debts that the company had incurred due to poor financial decisions. So as a lawyer, I'm so much exposed to the financial world because I also want to practice as a commercial lawyer after here. So I'm so much invested to the extent that I know the kind of decisions, the wrong decisions that any financial docket holder can make based on the experience that I've acquired with the little knowledge that I've acquired from the class. So if I apply that knowledge in the financial docket, I think we're able to solve most of the common wrong decisions that have been made by any financial office holder that I've interacted with. Another thing to add on to that, I also...
Thank you. Due to interest of time, allow me to proceed to the second question. Mr. Omar, with your background, you have bragged about it. Give me your financial policy.
My financial policy is to ensure that every student benefit from union resources regardless of their background.
Mr. Mweta, kindly.
My financial policy is to ensure that we have a student-centered budget, a budget that can include the needs of the students, that will reflect the need of the student. and it will give the student resources to create opportunities that will help them to live around this campus. Thank you.
You made the analogy on how you say the budget that will create opportunity for students, right?
Yes.
If I'm going to give me the analogy of how you are going to achieve that.
In this school, we have income generating activities, and we also have income generating production.
Example.
The example is the good example is those yogurts.
So you want to tell me that students should take charge in producing of these products?
Not that they should take charge, but you know, in this school, we are creating future entrepreneurs.
Yes.
There are some of the students who have good ideas, but they lack capitals. So if we can bring them on board and create a platform that allows them to bring their ideas, they will be able to be supported by the institution, and they will make sure that their entrepreneurship is growing, and that will have created the opportunity that will help them to live in this institution.
Mr. Muchui, kindly.
Okay. On the financial policy, let me base it on one of my agendas, that is financial discipline. I shall ensure that every coin of the comrade that is budgeted works for the comrade without being misused. Thank you.
That is your financial policy, right? I got it well. Thank you. To Mr. Abdinur.
Okay, thank you. So I say that leadership is not about action. It's not measured by the action. It is measured by the impact. So that means every comrade shall see the impact of every coin that they have contributed. Let's say, let every coin that a student contribute benefit them at all costs. Thank you.
To Mr. Makoha, kindly give me a preamble of your financial policy.
Thank you so much for your question, member of the panel. To respond to that question, there is this basic principle of accountability, transparency, and honesty. I think that is just very basic. As a treasurer, you have to exercise that. Now, what is it that I'm bringing on in University of Embu that is not here? I want to encourage the Student Council to focus in investment. Yes, we want to be accountable with our resources, but now the resources are already inadequate. How can we further on the resources? So how can we raise the budgetary allocation that we have to something greater, so that even if we are to offer a financial aid or a food drive, it reaches a good number of students. So how do we further on that? I want to advise the Student Council to venture in investment and coordination with sponsors. How will you venture in investment? I will add the Student Council to venture into securities investment. We can buy shares, we can invest in the banking sector. The banking sector is very rich to the extent that, for instance, if we were to purchase a single KCB share last year, December, it was going at 62 shillings. Currently, a single KCB share is going at 73 shillings. The figure will actually be around 120 or 125 coming September. So if we can invest, because I've seen as per subsection 4 of the UESA Constitution, one of the roles of a treasurer is to further on investments in the school and to raise funds. So how do we raise these funds? We need to come up with ideas. So I want to bring that idea of investment. You can invest in the banking sector. We can purchase shares, not in the energy sector or the insurance sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Makoa. You said to raise funds, students. Have you gone through the student handbook guidelines or student policy or student rules on student interacting with finance on how to raise funds?
Yes, I've gone through that.
What does it say?
Okay.
On matters pertaining finance.
Okay, allow me to respond to your question.
Yes.
So, to respond to that, we should not only restrict our heads to what is given, we can come up with new ideas.
That's why this is a policy.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, mine is an advice. I'm not going to do that.
I'm drawing you to the policy.
Yes.
Yes.
kindly remind me what it says, because I've gone through a lot of things today preparing for this debate.
But
so you can remind me, but I've gone through it.
You are stepping up for a docket that you must be versed with.
Yes.
What it pertains, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's proceed to the next question by my fellow moderators.
Okay, thank you. May we start with Mr. Omar Chamoto. How would you ensure public participation in financial budgeting?
Thank you, moderator. How to ensure public participation in what?
Financial budgeting.
In financial budgeting. So I will ensure public participation in financial budgeting by enhancing clear budgeting processes that students have ability or chance to chip in ideas on how to implement those budgets before funds are being released or before funds are being spent.
Okay, which channels will you use to gather the ideas?
Open forums, enhancing open forums for the students so that to have a chance to contribute towards the budget.
Okay, Mr. Mwita, the same question. Should I repeat?
How will I ensure that students participate in public participation or in budgeting? First thing, we can create in this school. We have tech, and therefore this tech can enable us to communicate even virtually. So in my manifesto, I had said that student-centered budget that includes students' needs. Therefore, we will bring them on board so that they can address their issue and they can express their issue and tell us about how they feel about the budget. The problem we are having right now is because when the budget is being prepared, we don't even know. So lack of information is a very serious issue that are affecting student participation in this institution. Thank you.
Mr. Muchu?
Yes, thank you. You understand that leadership is about teamwork. And for me to ensure that it's about public participation, I will work closely with the elected leaders, since all the dockets in the leaders that will be elected require some funds. Now, to be effective to the comrades, I will work closely with them to ensure that the amount that is budgeted is enough. It can be able to sustain the life of the comrade, and it will be effective to the needs of the comrade come the next academic year. Thank you.
How are you going to work with the comrade, just like you said?
Now, the leaders elected, they have different roles in their dockets. They have interacted with comrades. Let's say the special needs secretary, he has interacted with the comrades on how to do it financial aid, how to do it food drive. Now, to ensure that I have included the comrades at large, I'll use the elected leader, since it is easy to include public participation through the leaders.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hassan?
Okay, thank you. So, for the longest time, we have been dealing with dark budget, which was made in the, let's say, when people go to Mombasa or something like that. So, fortunately, I was in the last government. So, what they used to do is, even the elected delegate cannot see that budget. So that means there is also a gap between the leaders and also the delegate who are representing the majority of the people. So for me, I will come up with open communication. That is like there's a plan that I have. Let's say I want to come up with open baraza. The way people attend the men conference, the female conference, empowerment, those ones, I will come up with the same idea. Those ideas will help me in enhancing which sector needs a lot of resource. Let's say for financial aid, the only money that is allocated to that financial aid is only 2 million. That means we are a population of 17,000. That cannot make sense. And also at the same time, in the docket of special need, the only budget that is allocated is around 800,000. So that means that money cannot sustain all the comrades who are needy and need something to put on the table. So what I can do, through working with the elected leaders, we can mobilize the students. Let's say from, even if we cannot mobilize 17,000, we can mobilize few from through the class reps and also through the elected leaders of that department. We can choose some people, at least they can present the grievances of the student at that open baraza, and it shall work. Thank you.
Mr. Hassan, I tend to be informed. You have said that maybe the current the outgoing student council was operating in an hidden budget. I get you in that student council, right? The first thing after you're elected, you guys, the budget is prepared. And all those people in that government go and discuss it. How was it hidden, yet you were there when they were discussing the budget?
Okay, thank you. This is the point you should get right. The only people that make that budget is Big Seven. So that means, leave alone the comrades, even the elected leaders from various departments are not aware of the amount that are allocated to different sectors. Once I asked in the, let's say, the meeting, and the dean of students was there, then I was told it is not good to disclose to you guys. So that means there's something fishy behind it. So I want to make sure, I said, I work under the principle of accountability. I work under the principle of transparency and the trust and the discipline. So I will make sure each and every comrade will know that amount of the budget that we are operating with. Thank you.
Mr. Eugene?
Okay, kindly pardon the question. I've not yet gotten you well.
The question was, how would you ensure public participation in financial budgeting?
Thank you so much for that particular question. To respond to that question, I'll go back to my opening statement where I said that leadership is all about listening and action. So I'll coordinate with the 3 delegates from each department. I'll be sharing with them printed financial records and reports so that they can tell me where we can improve and where we cannot improve because it's already okay. Thank you.
Okay. This time I give a chance to the MC to make an announcement, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Max. All right, this is just to urge our viewers from Zoom that you please channel your questions. Our able treasurers will be responding before they leave the podium. Just type your question hapo chini. Hata kama uko hapa and you have a question, because hatutakuwa na hiyo like one-on-one, just type it there and then we'll sum them up, tutawapatia watajibu kindly. Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Chamoto. Which funds are you going to control? As we all know, with the new funding model, there is no specific funds allocated for student leadership and governance.
Thank you, moderator. Okay. The role, even with the new model, the role of a treasurer still remains crucial to the student council and to the students' union. So we have operation funds, we have welfare allocation, and all these need the role of good planning of a treasurer, need someone who can make good budgeting for it to operate well. Thank you.
Mr. Omar, I just want you to tell me, where does these welfare funds come from?
Okay, so welfare funds, even if not that amount of money that is specific to students, but I think in the budget it is there, welfare, some amount of money.
Are you in which year, kindly?
I'm in third year.
Third year.
Yes.
Are you a member of new funding model?
Yes, I'm a member of funding model. In fact, ilianza na mimi.
Thank you.
Yes.
In that, is there outlining fee that is directed to be for student government? We all know in the old funding model there was fee that was being charged per student. But with the new funding model, is there a fee that is clearly articulated that this is channel for student leadership?
Okay, ni sawa. So tuko kwa hii ni public university na pengine kwa hiyo fee structure hakuna, ni sawa, lakini bado kuna vitu vinafaa cooperate kama hizo welfare associations lazima ziwe zina operate, hizo mambo na clubs lazima ziwe zina operate, na ile management ya hiyo pesa. Okay, najua kuna venye huwa inakuwa channel kuingia pale na pia lazima ikuwe managed. So kwa hivyo vitu zote ili ziendelee sawa, ni lazima kukuwe na ile role of a treasurer. Hata kama hakuna hizo pesa kutoka kwa new funding model, lakini hizo activity hazijasimamishwa hadi sasa bado zinaendelea tangia liko first year. So inamaanisha kuna amount yenye bado inafaa kusimamia hizo, na the role of a treasurer lazima anahakikisha kila kitu kinaenda sawa kwa hizo.
You talked of operational funds, right?
Yes.
Which are some of these operational funds?
Okay. Hizi operational funds, unajua kuna academic activities zinafaa kuwa funded, of which huwa zinaendelea. So operational fund pia inaweza kuwa directed kwa hizo academic activities, pia bado inaweza kuwa part of it.
So can I conclude that without these funds you will be a ceremonial treasurer?
Which funds? Sorry?
You mentioned of welfare and operational funds, and clearly articulated in the new funding model. I don't see where it is actually stipulated that there is some amount that should be channeled to student welfare. So I'm taking an instance where there is completely not these funds. Are you going to be a ceremonial treasurer, or you will come up with a mechanism to have funds for students?
Asante sana kwa hilo. Nitakuja na mbinu ya kuwa itakuwa ina generate hivyo. Mimi ni mtu wa finance, nimefanya a unit inaitwa project appraisal, ambao unaweza focus ukuje na other ways ambazo ujue hii project in 2 years pengine itakuwa ina generate inflow. Hiyo itakuwa inasaidia hapo.
To Mr. Mwita kindly, arriving on the statement made by Mr. Omar, talking of the project, right? Let me note, he said there is some project, you can come up with the project. You being an IT person, what are some of these projects that you can come up with? And you also have some project inside the university. So what are some of these projects?
You know, when he said that he will come up with some project, I think he should specify which kind of the project, because I don't know which project he's talking about.
Now, put yourself in a situation. I have asked him, in absence of this welfare and operational funds,
Yes.
will you be a ceremonial treasurer, or come up na some ways to generate these funds?
According to me, I always view things positively. I always see a glass as half full, not as half empty. We already have the source of revenue. We already have the funds that are running the UESA. Therefore, this welfare, we will prioritize. There is a theory in entrepreneurship which is Maslow hierarchy of needs theory, which states that we should prioritize basic needs before other needs. Therefore, if welfare is a basic need, then we should prioritize it in our budget, because if that is what the students are demanding and it is very important for them to have it, then we will prioritize of the small amount that
Thank you. Mr. Evans, I had one of the manifestos for one of you, I don't remember. He is advocating for students to run the student center shops. What is your take on that?
Yes, thank you, the moderator. My view on that, as dictated in the UESA Constitution, Section 4, Subsection 4, one of the roles of the treasurer is to serve as the custodian of the student investment and assets. Now, as the custodian of the STC, I shall foster for the STC to be run by the comrades. Comrades should invest in the STC, come the club, come the pool tables there, come the hotel, and the STC shops. This also should be run under the UESA Council to ensure that revenue is derived to the account.
Mr. Mchui,
Yes.
do you want to tell me that the owners who are operating the STC right now do not have sound knowledge on how to operate them?
Sorry?
Are you telling me, or are you trying to tell me that if not comrades, the owners who are running the STC right now, they don't have sound knowledge to run it?
They are very smart, by the way, in running the business, but there's an STC student center. I guess that we should foster for entrepreneurship of the comrades, since our comrades, most of the percentage of comrades, they have opted for business. So we can ensure that the STC, we create that environment for the comrade to invest there.
Are you going to allow 18,000 students to own those shops? Bearing in mind there are only 5.
Okay, thank you. We cannot help all the students, but the few number we have helped the life of comrade.
How are you going to get the best student to run the shops? Bearing in mind it is 18,000. Don't you think you are going to have conflict of interest?
There are conflict of interest, but as you should know, to start a business, it requires some funds.
But if every student has those funds?
Okay, if all the students have those funds, then that's the best run. There are some shops at the TB block.
Are you coming to come up with the best? Okay, for the interest of time, Mr. Abdul, kindly respond to this common question. In an instance where there is no welfare funds and operational funds, are you going to be a ceremonial treasurer, or you are coming up with ways to raise funds?
Okay, thank you for that question, Mr. Ramadan. First and foremost, I believe in the power of persuasion, and I believe in the power of negotiation. That means the other government was allocated around 5.9 million, and they end up using 6.5 million. That means they have negotiated. So, by doing that, I will also negotiate with the school for the allocation. And I won't depend on that. Having worked with different youth-led organizations, including the Young People International, where I took, let's say last month, around January the 26th to 31st, I took 50 of Marsabit County student comrades to that organization. And I can say they have benefited around 1.8 million bursaries, I included. I can show the evidence. So that means I can even negotiate with them. And at the same time, I'm also a beneficiary of Equity Bank at one point. That means I can write a proposal. Let's say in terms of talent show, that is something that we should build on. Financial aid, because they are running the same program, that is scholarship, I can also go and talk to them, write a proposal. At least the comrade of University of Embu can also be the beneficiary of the same. So it is not only that, those organizations, there are many because of the time. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul. You have mentioned a very good ideas, but you are part of the failing government, as you call it. Thank you. You are part of it, and you didn't write those proposals. Why do you feel you can write them right now?
Okay. So everyone acts in his own capacity. My capacity was to represent Department of Humanity. I wasn't the part of the budgeting and planning committee of UESA. So that means I, Abdinur Mohammed Hassan, if I get this chance, I can do better than the last regime. Thank you.
Thank you. To Mr. Makoha, kindly. In absence of welfare and operational funds, are you going to be a ceremonial treasurer, or what mechanism do you have?
Okay, thank you so much for that particular question, member of the panel. To respond to that question, I want to give an example. For instance, Kenya, as a country, has its budgetary allocation. but it does not only depend on its budgetary allocation, but it sources its fund from the World Trade Organization, it sources its fund from the World Bank, it sources its fund from the United Nations in form of grants. So what will I do if I'm put into that position as the treasurer of UESA, where maybe we have inadequate funds? As I had already stated earlier, my connections are not only within the school, but also outside. I have these top-tier law firms that we can partner with. See, the only problem that we have is that we don't communicate. We don't request for things. So if we can partner with these top-tier law firms and non-governmental organizations such as SHOFCO, the Shining Hope for Communities, I believe we can be able to source funds from them.
Thank you. My colleague.
You to approve spending that is not in the approved UESA budget. Will you reject it publicly? Let's start with Mr. Eugene.
Thank you for that question. And to respond to that, there are some matters that we call in-house matters. So if I'm part of that student leadership and such an occasion arises, then I think the least or the best thing I can do is to try and talk to them so that we can approve what is acquired, not what is not acquired. And if they persist that they want us to do that, I think I'll have to proceed and go to the Dean of Students so that we can look into that.
Thank you. Mr.
Okay, thank you. So, human beings are to error. So we make a lot of mistakes. Let's say our executive member, my fellow executive member, they can be tempted to include something that is not in budget. But there's an out of office before you go and, let's say, make that budget that we usually take. That oath should guide me, because I will raise the Quran with my hand, saying that I will safeguard and protect each and every coin of the comrade. So that means I've gone against my religious duty and also at the same time against the constitution of the UESA. But let's say, as my fellow leader said, human beings can make a lot of mistakes and also tempted to include something, but some things you can solve it yourself. If you sit down with them and correct, maybe they can accept the correction. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Evans.
Yes, thank you. I started by saying that I will include the elected leaders in the budgeting. So if what they want to be done is not budgeted, I'm going to ensure that every coin that was budgeted is used as per budgeted. And if need be, we shall seek clarification from the right offices, let's say the procurement and the dean's office. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Mr. Mita.
Thank you. If I can say, if something is wrong, there is no way you can change it. Therefore, our role as student council, we are supposed to protect the constitution and not to violate it. Therefore, I will stand with the truth, and the truth will set me free. Thank you.
Mr. Omar.
Okay, ndio maana kukaletwa kitu inaitwa budget, ili vile vitu vimepangiliwa kwa kila mfumo viwe vitatumika kama vile ilivyopangwa kitambo. Kwa hivyo kama watakuwa wanaforce kufanya kitu yenye haijakuwa kwa budget, definitely nitasimama na jambo moja ya kwa hili hatujalipangia na sitaweza kupitisha. Asante. First of all, Mr. Moderator, you cannot guide people towards the river while you yourself you are lost in the desert. So I will not be part and parcel of that. That is first. So to the question, when it happens, has a finance or has a leader entrusted with student resources, my first loyalty will be to truth and to the student themselves. So I will gather evidence first, and then after realizing towards the evidence, I will use the right protocols or procedures to report to the right ethical committee. So after reporting to the right committee using the right protocols, that means loyalty will be enhanced while the institution is being guided against unnecessary chaos.
What if you are actually found guilty among them? Are you ready to step off your office? What if you are found guilty amongst the secretary and the chair? Will you be ready to leave the office?
Okay. If stepping aside temporarily will enhance that there is fair judgment, then I will be ready to be out of that. I will be ready to step down because I believe in one thing, that leadership, it's about service, it's not my personal power.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. As I stand here, I'm here to represent the interest of the student. Therefore, I don't think whether I will participate in such activity. And if I've realized that they have participated and they have done that action, the Constitution states clearly that they should be accountable and they should follow the punishment that they will face. Thank you very much.
As a treasurer, you have to foster for integrity. As an integrity leader, I cannot be involved in that, but when I meet myself in such a situation, what can I do? I can negotiate. Since the elected council, I have the mandate to advise the chair. Now I can advise the chair and the SG together with me. Let us refund the money. And if not, then we shall report the case to the relevant offices. Thank you.
So, Mr. Mushu, you will report yourself together with the chair.
Since I can never be gotten in such a situation, and if it becomes a time and I've gotten, then for me, I'm willing to refund the money, not reporting myself. Thank you.
So, Mr. Mushu, this means that you are ready to do that. You are ready to get yourself in search, but you will be saving somewhere so that when they contact with you, you are ready to refund, to clear your name, right?
Mr. Ramadan gave me clearly. I started by the point of integrity. I can never get myself in such a situation. Don't misunderstand me. Thank you.
So you are ready to set up your fellow council members?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I said that my principle is built on accountability, trust, and also integrity. But human beings are to temptation. Maybe at one point, you can involve in such a situation. But sometimes, you step aside and let the law take its course. Because if you are corrupt, you are corrupt. I cannot continue holding that office. And I was entrusted with the same office by the comrade, and yet I steal from their kid. Yes. And I'm entrusted with the same office. So that means I will step aside, leave the room for investigation. If the right procedure will be followed, let the law take its course. Thank you.
Thank you for that particular question. To respond to that, I think as a leader, you normally carry the weight of your fellow, the people that you are representing on your shoulders. So if the people have entrusted you in such an office, then your key role is to serve them. So I want to say that I wouldn't be part of that conspiracy at my right mind. Maybe if I'll be sane, I could be part of that particular conspiracy, but at my right mind, I can't be part of that conspiracy.